So I'm going to get to the Eved Naaman, that is Mamshich Teisavus Meruba, a great additional bracha to the great qualities of his service to the ordained, to his service to his master. And we saw that in the Nimshal, how that is the Maila, that Mitzat Seder Ishtalshus, that the Eivshter Kaviochel set a whole budget of Giluim that would be from the Giluim of Shining the Seder Ishtalshus in the highest Mokker, all the way down through the Elamas and all the Shochas and Swanan and brought down earlier in the Hemshech. But there are two Ifanim of Gilui B'Maila. One is called Sod Shoiresh, one is called Sod Teisavus. There's what's called the Sod, or the secret of everything which has got a root point, Sod Shoiresh. And that means that the Eibush should set everything aside, how it would be nimshik from a certain root point, a certain shoiresh, a certain mokker, with that has been fixed together with the thing in an nimshik manner, as how much it's going to produce. Sod Teisavus means additional areas which are Mishkalim, the Nimshochim, into that whole Seder, which has been fixed by the root point or root decision, and they're called Teisavus or Hirays. They can be, as we saw, even Meruba, Alaika, they can even be more than what the original was. But the point being that soft, they're all in some way shy to that opinion of the Seder Ishtalshus. Just the Gabi, the way it was fixed at the beginning, then there's a new additional, almost what you might call quantity of oils, which are nimshah. But sulfurs ultimately they're also shy to the original Seder, just that they come in a form of Teisavus Meruba, a tremendous addition, and that's called more than what the Aldean could have done, Kaviochel Biatzmi, which they said. We brought the Dugner that in Siyas Ponim, Kaviochel, that they should shine a whole new Gilui Biatzmi, on the day the Medati Kemal Atzman didn't show a Shuka to be able to serve him even more than what he demanded, Kaviochel. And whenever that causes shocha, but ultimately it's a shocha which is related somehow to the original pattern. So we saw that that's the greatness and the Maila of the Eved Naaman, Shehu Mamshich Teisavus Meruba B'Tiva V'Dosa. So now we go back to the Eved Poshut. We say that K'moi Keinu Be'eved HaPoshut, She'oived B'Hoyel Rak L'Kayim Rotzim Ha'elim, Yesh Boi Yisorein Ma She'ein Lo Li'atzmei Klum, She'ein Lo Shum Tainu V'Nachasua B'Avidosei, Ve'ein Lo Lokech Li'atzmei Me'uma Me'avidosei. So now we go over to the simple Eved. And we saw that his Ika is Kabbalah Soil, and therefore his Aveda is darker with the yoke, because he doesn't do it. It's a time, he doesn't feel the whole Gishmak, the whole tremendous time in serving the Eivshter and having time again, being Mamshich for the Erev Sabyanim, being causing an Asam Kanachasuach to the Odain, and literally causing a revel in the household of the Odain, and all those things on him. His Indian is precisely the Kabbalah Seil, and the whole purpose of his Aveda is Rak L'Kayim Rotzim Ha'elim, only to do what is demanded, which are the Etzem Marotz. And his theme would be, and his motto would be, how do I do that the way it is? In other words, he's not aware of, and he's certainly not osuk in inyonim nailim, like Hamshach says, and Yenim B'chulu. So therefore he's Ikra Aveda, Zaino Lekech Li'atzmei Me'uma Ma'avidos. He doesn't take for himself or benefit in any way from his Aveda. So you might say, well, we just learned that the Eved Naaman is also completely devoted, and he's Mashli Chayov Mineged, he throws his own life aside. Mashli Nafshi Mineged, we saw the expression yesterday, he casts aside all his own life, and he's all for the sake of the ordained. So how can you, by saying that the Eved Poshu is Eino Lokech Li'atzmei Me'uma, that tends to be a hint that other types of Avodim do. And therefore we have to put in the brackets that how does that fit? How does that fit into the exact pattern of the comparison of the Eved Naaman? Because the Eved Naaman also doesn't take anything for himself. His whole union is only for the sake of the Nachas Ruach of the ordained. The Rebbe said the Eved Naaman, Harei me'anachas ruach shel hamayla yesh loi nachas ruach. The very fact that the ordained has nachas ruach from all the effort that he puts in, well, that itself causes him a nachas ruach. And in other words, it's not that he adds, it's not that it's actually made into him the nachas ruach of the Eibishter. He's not ad kedei kach botel, he's not ad kedei kach clean, but he's aware of the fact that the nachas ruach, there is nachas ruach in my. The Torah itself reveals that to him. And if you do kach v'kach, if you're a devoted servant and so on, then we have the right to say that the Eibishter has nachas ruach. We say kaviol, I mean whatever, however one may explain it, whatever it may be the ultimate pshat in nachas ruach l'mayla, upon him we have the right to say that. And therefore he has a nachas ruach mizeh. Not that he has the same nachas ruach as the Eibishter, but he knows that there's nachas ruach l'mayla, and therefore yesh loi nachas ruach. He also has nachas ruach. So even though it's not the pshat that he deliberately wants that, and he puts out his hand and says, please give me my nachas ruach, because I want to take that. It's not that he's mamish lokech li'atzmei, but nonetheless, there is a nachas ruach. U'mi'agiluim sheme'inim l'mayla nimshach u'me'eh b'nafshe gamken. And from the divine revelations which he brings into Gilui, and they are me'eh mikoyach his aveda l'mayla, nimshach u'me'eh b'nafshe gamken. That it's nimshach u'me'eh into his nefesh also. So, even though the truth is, you can't say that's why he's serving the Eibishter, that's why he does what he does, because he wants to have that oil which will be made of after. Yeah, so that's a mess. Well, Mikol Mochim Nimshikloi Me'agiluim V'Elyoinim U'Misala B'Madrega Alidei Zeh B'Ribui Meshach Zman Avidos. He said, so the truth is he doesn't ask for that. He doesn't make that the condition. That's not a t'nai b'avodah. And therefore it's not his kavanah in serving the Eibishter, but ultimately he does actually feel those gilui, they're nimshik to him. And on the contrary, he is misaleh b'madrega. He elevates himself. Very good. He goes upwards and rises in his madrega through those giluim. Yeah, according to the multitude, the manyness of time that he spends in his avodah. In other words, the more he's devoted, the more time he is an Eved Naaman, then gradually and over the time, all these inyanim become nimshach into him, and therefore he goes mimadrega lema madrega. So he's not asking for that as a condition, and it's not even his kavanah. Obviously, none of that. These things do occur to him. They are meir ben afshe de giloim is megala mamshich alidei tiva b'nosei, and he has an aliyah. He's misaleh. In other words, an aliyah b'madrega by a yid, particularly a yid that's got a chush, a God like he has in Rufnias, that's a beginning, that's an inner that he's aware of, and he knows that he's gone from one level to another, and he knows that now his whole status in Rufnias is even incomparably higher than it was Lifnei Zman Masuya. So you can't say that he doesn't have anything. So emes, that's not bakashosei, or it's not a condition in the Avodah, but it does happen. And he has an aliyah, and therefore we have to say that he's aware of that aliyah, and he has a tremendous, how would one say, nachashur piatzmai, from that aliyah, b'madrega. He just sees that as part of the, what you might call the tzoyes of being involved in his avodah. It's not that he's looking for that davke upon him. He's aware of the results, and therefore one can say in a delicate way, not in a oifen gas, but in a delicate way, he is lokeach liatzma. He does have things which are nimshut to him. However, a poshut ain't lokeach liatzma klum. He doesn't take anything. Shekan mi ha'oilos hanimshachim einu me'eloi mi'uma ki einu shayak ligiluyei oilos. In other words, Jesus mentioned it. He struggles the whole time just to be given over to the demands of the Avodah, and that's his whole in to keep himself doing and going, in the Etzem Avodah. He's mamshik. The emphasis we'll see as we go on that he's mamshik in Yonim Nailim V'Yosef, and in their Shoyrish and in their Teichen, they're even higher than the Giluim Elyonim, which are nimshik alidei the Eved Nema. But he's not aware of it. He doesn't feel them. It's not shy to all those Giluim Ameya, but Nafshik, he's not shy to Giluyei Oirois. His whole in is just the Asiyah B'Poel Man. So he's like, an unfortunate being in a way that he's Eimachanami. He's mamshik, very high in Yonim, as we'll see as we go on. But he himself doesn't actually benefit from them, and he's not aware of them. And how much more so that they're not mamish meya into his nefesh, to his kli. Edifar. Kihim hakol leodoino. He said everything is only for the sake of the Odin. In other words, if he's mamshik anything, then it all goes into the Eivish's coffer, as it were. It goes into the Inyonim Moel Yoinim, and the Eivishter is aware of that, and Kaviyom, the Eivishter Nachashur from them, of he doesn't know anything about it. And if you would say to him, as a chaynet, by doing what you're doing, then all these Inyonim occur, by Ilan Ploinim, Nimshachim Weiros Yoinim Batzidus, Ukayitza Bezeh, he would say, for me, it's all for the sake of the Eibush. In other words, it's all his inyanim. If there is such a inyan, then the Eibush has it, not me. It's not my inyan. And far, it's hard to say about him that he's Eino or Kiyach Klum. The Chamoshim is boil here. Diba Masku Mitnerav. The Gama Kabbalah's Pras. Huli Adoinu. V'hainu al tiyu ka'avodim chulu. Now this is the famous Mishnah in the first parak of Pirkei Avos. It's written there, al tiyu ka'avodim amashamshim esarav amanas l'kabel pras ki'im amashamshim esarav shalei amanas l'kabel pras. So it's one of the deal. Why does it have to chazar over? Why twice? Al tiyu kavadimamishamshim sarav amanas l'kabel pras. Ela tiyu kavadimamishamshim sarav shalei amanas l'kabel. Just say tiyu kavadim she'einu mishamshim l'kabel pras. Why do you have to make the whole thing doubled up? Arichet. why have to say it, Kilo as a word double start. One of the beauty in that is that the first group also is also an Eved. He can be an Eved on the Shamshim Sarah. He's taken devoted and he's given out to the Rabbi. He's an Eved up here. And he quite rightfully expects it to be a certain tzvos, a sakar, some sort of a Kabbalist prize. Kabbalist prize means taking some sort of prize. It's not one famous beer for the Alter Rebbe about that. We also had something maybe to say about that. I don't know at this particular second. And then it goes on to say, Ela, what should you be? You should be Avodim, Amishamshim, Mizrav, Shalom. In other words, the first letter also Avodim, of a much deeper and another sort of Eved altogether. What Pirkei Avos recommends that you should be. What Pirkei Avos is a well-known, there's a Mishnas Chassidim. There's a Dafke for the Indian of how to be a Chassid, B'chulu. As it says, Al tiyu kavodim ha-mishamshim ela avodim misham shalei al-manas the Kabbalah Prat, that you're not interested in the Kabbalah's Pras. You're an Eved, and the Kabbalah's Pras, it was another Indian altogether, Lo Shulchan. But for that we see that a much more emerson Eved is something that he's Shalei al-manas the Kabbalah Prat. And then there's another Girsa in the Mishnah over there, it's put down in the Mavoshim. There's another Girsa which says, Ela, Kavodim, Amishamshim Yisrael, Al Menah Shaloi Lekabel Prav. In other words, not Shaloi Al Menah Lekabel Prav. It shouldn't be in order to receive a reward. But it could be, there will be a reward, but you're not interested in that. Ella should be almanas. The whole condition should be shalei l'kabel prav. In other words, that the condition is made at the beginning that you don't want any pras klal. I said those arguments. So it's very interesting. It's put down in the Batanur. It brings in a later Mishnah over there. I think the taste of the Shanta also mentions it. It's put down in the Gedele Harishina, the Gedele early Mephoshim, and the Pirkei Avos, that there was a little bit too much. That they shouldn't have come along and said, as our Mishnah, Ela v'Yuki Avodim, Mishamshim Shalei, even Shalei al-Manas the brings it that there was a whole group that they said that was too, the Beitusi or something. They broke away from the Torah Shebaal Peh, because they held that was too much. You have to be an Eved and you have to give yourself away and you don't get any reward. And you say you don't want any reward. I mean, how many human beings say that? If he works, he wants to get his wages. He needs to see some payment for what he does. And there was the Batanur, there was a whole group, and they broke away from the whole Torah Shebaal Peh. They said that's the way it's supposed to be. Then we don't want to be that way. There's a simon that it's a human, justifiable human trait to want to see some sort of a result in a form of our reward. You don't necessarily make that the whole ganze Inca, and you don't really walk and say, I want this reward, I want the other reward. All sorts of mensch has to feel at least in the back of his mind, or how do you say, that there is a reward. Somebody's paying, there's appreciation for what he does. And that'll be in some way, that'll become a reality. So that would have a Nema, even though he also says, in a way, well, I'm not the Kabbalah Prat. I'm doing it for the Prat. So he does see something. And it is may of an episode, it comes of the Haposhim, even though it is, I don't know anything about it, that's just what it is. So if it's going anywhere, let it go to the Eibishter. Let the Eibishter have it. What is not shy to me? That's the Indian of the Eved, it's almost as if he was like that second Gilsa, that he's on Manas, Shalay the Kabbalah process. He was still to the condition that he's not going to take any rewards on China. From that we see that what is the immediate Indian of Eved, that so what does that mean? That when you do an Emes Aveda, there is some pras, something comes out of it. There's there's something which is in the form of a positive result, which ultimately could be taken as being being magia elef. And that's the type that everything carries with it a certain Kabbalah's pras, or a certain pras, if not Kabbalah's pras. And in fact, he says, no, anything that will come out of my Aveda, it's not due to be Lechatchila. If it's going to be like that, then it's for the Eretz and the family. That's an Emes, complete and utter Kabbalah sale. That he's only in it only for what is what's known, and he's only in it for doing because that's the will of the other. Anything else, low enough. So in those few words is the Toichan Kuda Atzmis of this whole Eved portion. The Inyoni is only, and it's not because he's a big, big guy. He says, oh yeah, look, I couldn't get all this, but I'm going to I give it away, and I'm doing this all that. He sees himself. Only, it's like we said, that famous quip from a small monk, he sees himself only as a screwdriver, for the other, The other has to draw a screw, he's a screwdriver. That's all. He doesn't have any other picture of himself. Shalei al-Manash the Kabul Pras, or al-Manash Shalei the Kabul Pras, doesn't really make a great deal of difference. Because he's not, he doesn't even be, how would you call it, Mara al-Daita, he doesn't even take into his mind that maybe a Pras should be his. Because the whole contract of the work is not like that. He's there only to do the work. That's all. It's an amazing picture. And that's what we're going to see as we go along. The giving away of the self in the Eved portion is absolute. He just does nothing for himself. The Eved Neman can't say that. The Eved Neman can't say he's just giving himself away. Absolutely. He's a tremendously elevated human being that's taken all his kishrenas and all his unbelievable elevation, and he's devoted that to the work of the altar. Oh, you can't say that he just does absolutely nothing but Chatchila. He's a write-off for Yavi himself, absolutely. Rachel you can't say that about the Eved. Here we begin to sort of touch on the Amitis Hebdel Peinzeler said. And that's what I said, that Yesh Lema, that these have daily docking between Azazot Eved and Azazot Eved, they come out through the Torah successor. Yesh Lema, that the Eved Poshut, he's like a concept, a product, which had to come about through the Indian of Gilad Torah successor. Like I said, it probably begins in the East Poshut at the Baal Shem Tov. And it had to come about due to the fact that there was coming these generations where the whole thing is going to be, it's going to be, how would you call it, either or. Either it's going to be Ratzon Hashem, and we're going to say to the world, if there's no two ways about it anymore. We're going for the final pitch. And remember, there has to be the simple doers that is going to be involved only because of the pitch. They know nothing more. That's the pitch. And I remember that came about after in the Indian of Torah successors. They were the Eved Poshut. He's an amazing person. He starts off with Chatchila. Where he'll tell you, look, if I could only get out of this, I would have done it. But it's not Shayak, put it all on me, and here I am. I just got to do my work. And I've got to do it the way the organ wants it, and that's all. So nothing more to be done. If there's any big lights that come about, which I don't know anything about them, let the Eibishter take them. He knows what to do. In other words, as killer, he would say, I wouldn't know what to do with them anyway. All these big lights. I mean, killer, not my square, you know, it's not my deal. Well, my deal is just to keep going and see that everything be done. And that's it. Emma, yes, the Rebbe. It's an amazing pure, that's a pshat. Avodim shaloi, out to you, kavodim,amishamshim. Therefore, it's very interesting. The Mishnah starts off with a shlila. Out to you, kavodim. Don't be that way. Even though they're avodim, and they're good people, whoever say it. They're avodim, they're good people. No, out to you, because because of you getting something. No, be it's still like two stages in history. And the Batanura and the Teisva Shelter, they bring those certain people up that next to this man. Like that. That's the way, you know, that's the way your old Torah works. Too much for me. But the breakfast also do man. You have to be later on the Mishnah says, Chachamim Yishoru B'divrayim. You must be very careful how you say a thing out. I just take later in the Mishnah. Brings a dogma that the Tana what he was at Kisata Tassad. Yeah, he wasn't a maspik nizhar will say that's pretty careful. He's right. If you're going to be really nizhar will say then you have to be careful not to say. And the other person, he's really, he's on the word. Tagid li beisen nusser. I feel in dem nusser. Al menach shalei lekam. Willst du besorgen als er? Tagid kach. Aber das ist auch gewöhnlich gesagt. And therefore he says, that's the union of Kabbalah's process. L'adayna. Out to you, Kabbalah. Don't be that way. Okay, don't be that way. I'm going to have not that way. What is your will to me? Out to you. Don't be that way. Ubeyevet zeh, eno shaykh alo midagele, ilu yamza. Eno shaykh ilu midagele dar. There's no shaykh elevation from one level to the other. And therefore it's not shaykh that he should take even that. Yeah, it's really a tremendous achievement and satisfaction that he's gone from one level to another, but that's what the Evan must feel. I mean, he's only he's gone taken from one level to the other. You know, he feels that. He said, but the Evan Posher, Me'achashe Etzloi Racha Asiyah Levad. See, that's the whole spot. The Yikipa. By him is the doing. The prayer. Just getting things done. Mice. Elatomi to B'madrega. He just lives his whole life on one madrega. That sounds almost like cruel, you know, just leaving on one level. He never goes, he never gets higher than that. So here the Rebbe puts in the amazing thing. And here we see the whole time, if you watch it carefully, we're like playing on two, it's like having a cake and eating two, going back and forth. On the one hand, we say the Evan, now one is unbelievable. But he's also mostly Chayav Minayim, and he's also selfless, and he's half of the game. No, he is. He is. Okay? But who's not? Only Evan now. What was the Evan Posher? Oh yeah, okay. Evan Posher, great. So Evan Posher, he's just exactly the opposite. He knows how to see it, he doesn't know anything. He's only on one Madrega the whole time. Okay, Evan Posher, he's the opposite. He's been called Mokim, nonetheless, he is the Evan. And now he writes about him on the most amazing thing. When we call Mokim, who became this Mahalik? He's going all time. He says, no, I'm only on one Madrega, and he is. But inside that Madrega, he's moving, he's a progressor. Shari Magia Babidos Pinas Atzmas Mami. Shazor Meet Yisailu. That's the most unbelievable progress that you could possibly make, that you reach Atzma. Shalei Bahadrog, it's not Bahadrog. In other words, what is a Meet Yisailu? Like we said the other day, if you go from one place to the other, but your foot or your heel or even a trace of your shoe remains in the other place, then you didn't go yet. You're still shy to that previous situation. So what is called Hiluk when you're no longer where you were before. You're completely in another place. That's the Taichiluk. What that means is the emphasis Indian of going and progressing. Hiluk is Ein Oresh. It means that you were here, now you're over there. And over there is not here. It has no shaykh. And if it does, then you somehow or another still shaykh to where you were before. And it means you completely cut yourself off from here and you're now over there. Like by Rama he moved these tents from one place to the other. By Yatik Mishom Herhor. He just moved over from there to there. No tents, no nothing. I left over here, now he's over here. That's called Hataka. They like to move your whole self, plant yourself over from one place. That's the Indian of Hiluk. That was put down in the Siddhas, the Malachim in Olam Savyoni, but they're the whole time going higher in new Asogas every hour, the whole year, every day they're going higher and higher and higher. But that's not called Olam Savyoni because it's all to a certain extent within one big pattern of understanding, but in that itself they get higher understanding. Or in a way, they're still in the same area where they were, they're just going more able in that for generations, these malachim. But he said, when you're down here in this world, you got the possibility, alidei emasa, kabbalsel emasa, devotion, to go from one place to the other and not to have any shaykh. You were here, now you've moved over there. Ain't alright, ain't was a cool kesher. So he said, who does that is Bemis the Evan Poshut. How are you there, my young?
This is from right off.
Huh?
It's from right off.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to work on it. You guys have got the influence. Remind me at the end of this year. No, it's something that maybe you just might be able to. So anyway, it's so the Rebbe says that Evan Naaman, he seems to be going the whole time. I mean, he's being munching from So the point being that since he doesn't go from Giluim into Atzmas, then he doesn't really go. He's still within Giluim. So Einach Hanami, it could be that the Giluim are very different from one aspect of his awakening to another. But he's still in the same general bracket. So therefore he progresses tremendously. He goes from one Madrega to the other. But maybe that's not Emersa Hilu. This Evan Poshut, since he goes into Atzmas, he's Megala, those who don't know, they come out from the Herama Atzmi, as we call it, and they come in such a way that they are Meshane and Nimshak into the Herama Akashmi, V'chuli V'chuli. They're from Atzmas, they say, all the way down here. So that means that he somehow or another, that must affect him. He can't possibly, because he got there, you understand? It's like like the famous story in the race, there's this race between the hare and what was it, and the turtle or something. So the hare, he ran, and in the end he conked out. He said, I don't remember how it works. He said, escape. Or the turtle, he just keeps, slogging along, and eventually he gets over the wooding line. He made it more than anybody else. So the Tait says that he did this simple Evan, he did it. He was Megala, the Indian announcement. We can't say he doesn't have any shaykhs to it. He does really make it and be nimshach in, misale, into Atzma. And that's Emersa Hiluk. That means from the field of Nivra and from the field of Gila into Atzma. So that's much higher than the Hiluk Midaga Vidaga. This is Hiluk Atzma. So then we see we're playing, it's like we're playing on these amazing contrasts. On the one hand, as far as actual ruchnius is concerned, and what you might call in Hasogas and Giluim Dikazan, he's always on one Madrega. You talk to him and I say, listen, man, my holiness is just Choyal Mamsha, I don't know, and yet, but Pneumius Vyatsmi is on the other side, what you might call the coin. He's really moving in a most incomparable way. He's just achieving things that no other, or even Hashem, achieved. So we keep seeing these amazing, like two sides of the coin. And once again, I said it takes us back. All this has to come from somewhere. And as I say, it comes from the Baal Shem Tov, it comes from the Moki of Ashur, of Sha'at, the whole meaning of Torah Shachsir. It goes all the way back to the Maharam in Prague, and to the Ramban, and to the Rashbi. All this was hidden. The Sod Kol was Etzlam, and gradually, for the sake of the last generation, to face the whole tremendous book was Mana Mashiach. We have to learn all about this. We have to know that there's some arrangement of koiches. The other said, the Rebbe, that's a meteor sahilo. Shaloi bahador. Because emes sahilo means that. That's the emes of Pshat. Loi bahador. You can go from one level to another, but if you're in the same basic levels of Hadroga, then it's not real going. It's like progress, but it's not going. Rak, he says, his whole meaning is what? Madrega achas, rak asis utein koinoi basir b'pelo. That's his madrega. So Kunta said he doesn't have any madregas, but he has the etzim. Ha'aliyah she'ena b'toim elo. Achamoshes Burlil, Dibba Mashko Miknarav, the Be'evet Poshet, ain't boy shum shinoi b'avidosai, v'loi shum geroyai. He never has any change. Ain't boy shum shinoi b'avidosai, and he never has any, how would you call it, lacking. So why did the Rebbe write that in? You know, what B'mayim Kamina like to say a thing like that? That he never alters. He's always Andrega Achas, and it never adds, but it never subtracts. And there's no shinui. So it seems to me, even though if you look into that Maimon, it's not really written there clearly. But maybe we can suggest. I just wanted to, like they say in English, put it in for good measure. Maybe we should suggest, it's brought down, it says that there are two ways that the Eibishter conducts the world. There's a way that he conducts the world, Al-Pi, Ateva, according to all the laws of the Teva that he fixed at the beginning of the creation. And in those inyanim, there's never any alteration. They just function endlessly the way he fixed them. When he'll want to stop it, then he'll stop it. But it just goes on without any alteration, without any change. That's even from Teva. And there's even from a mile of Teva, Nisim and inyanim, which they come into the world in the way from the Teva Shana, that Teva, and they, well, the Yoitzim b'darchei HaTeva. In a form of Shinui V'aliyah Kol Hazman. Shinui V'aliyah Kol Hazman. The Maila of the second one is obvious. The second one comes from Gilu, the Eibishter, where he's not hiding himself. He's not beheaded. He's not inside these Levushim, which we call Teva. But he's revealing how he is beyond the limitation of Teva. What's the mile of the first way? What's the mile of the first way? Comes again the Baal Arcade. He was one of the big Balei Hamuz. He wrote this famous set of the Kedar Sitra. It's called the Baal Arcade. Chassidus brings it down. Chassidus says, he says there's a mile in the Hamshocha Tiviyas and the Hamhoge conduct of the world, the Derech HaTeva, She'ein b'zeh shinui. He said, because that shows an Indian of the Eibishter, ani avaya lo shonisi. In the very essence of the Eibishter, there's no change. Ani avaya lo shonisi. The Hanhogia of Teva, that there's like a fixed way which never alters. It'll only alter if he ever decides to alter it. That, as it were, reflects and shows the Eibishter how he is in a Madriga Vani Hashem Loishonisi. It's an amazing idea. By looking at the Teva and the way the world just goes on with its grinding laws of the Teva, then you can, as it were, you can gain a picture of the Eibishter, how he is Mamish Biatzmusa. He just never altered. It's Mamish, like they say, copper up. It's almost like upside down. On the contrary, that people know. As is up to Balakay, Ashigin and the Universe, I know how I learned that there was a Gival because in Madrigas and Giluim, it's higher. It's a higher Gil, it's not Tulubushi. But that's Kilo. I know what the Eibishter decided in his Giluim to make certain adaptations for the sake of things that he wants to show the new right. In our conduct, of the natural conduct of the world, is to tell Be'atzmai that Baba stuff on here violation is. To the place for the man. It's a great thing, we can suggest that that's what the Rebbe wants to eat that here. Eat that ever portion. Maybe there's like a remedy. He shot to Atzmus. He shot to the other side of Kuli, but to Atzmus is part. And therefore, because of that, and he's able to get into the Atmas, and therefore that reflects in him in a way that he's also like that. He doesn't change. Not does he change to add, and he doesn't change to subtract. He's like a God. He's a dukma, and he a violation of these. I say, I mean, even if that's not the emphasis of Pshat, Mamish in the words a little bit, but some emphasis on it. Put down, but again, to Tanya, you're allowed to say, I'm shocking Tanya, if it's going to stir the hearers to obey this Hashem, even though it may not be the emphasis of Pshat, Tanya, because who knows what the emphasis of Pshat really is. Anybody can really know what the Alter meant. Was it remember, that's what we can suggest here. That was, as the Rebbe, the Mamasa, the Bas, when Poshut, Ein Boy Shum Shinu Gav, and those are the Shum Gir, and that's like a Hamshach, from what he said before, that the whole Inin is Amitius Ha'il Biatzmusa. Now, another one, Kol Zeh Mikoech Atzmei and even more than that, that's all in his own doing. In other words, with his own limited little humanness, he's become almost like inhuman. He's shown that you can be inhuman. You can act in a way that you don't change, and it's you doing that. And that's what we saw before. He said, but to get to the Eved Nem, and he's Mumayla Lamata. To a certain extent, he's being run by that he's involved in that. He's so involved in such ways in Yonim that they can move him around, like they're mitkaleh, and so he moves with them. And it's like Mumayla Lamata. That's what we learn. That doesn't appear from the Eved Ne'eman. What it takes, it's Kilo Mumayla Lamata. It's like we say by the Malachim that they don't have any Bechira. As we state in Siddhis, that the Malachim don't have any Bechira. Everybody asks a question. We see that certain Malachim that got punished. Certain Malachim that stepped out of line, and therefore they gave them a punishment. What do you mean that the Malachim are Mishkabachim? So the answer is that really in Pintel, the Mamish, Etzma Pintel of their Seichel, they do have Bechir. Some. But they're just so close. And the Elikus is so misgala in them, it's just not shy they should ever do up with that. One or two very, very rare moments occurred that one of the Malachim showed his Bechir. Somehow when they jumped out of the process on this, and he showed his Bechir. But I say, that is so, one couldn't imagine that they would do otherwise. And they're not really described as having pussy, even though they really do have it. Once again, like having a cake and eat it too. That's what we said about the Eved Naaman. Why is the Eved Naaman? Why is he Mumayla Lamata? Because he's just so involved in all these Ruchnias elevated inyanim. It's just not shayah that he would ever go against it or ever do anything that's not lafi what's an order. It's just it's shayah. He's just so swept up and bound and completely involved in all these inyanim. That anyway, he's really Mumayla Lamata. He's just being moved around by the momentum of the inyanim which he's involved. Oh, the other Pasha, he never changes, only because he wants not to change. And he devotes himself to that. I mean, Kabbalah says that helps him not to change. That's he does that. It's not that the Oyer Eloki moves him around. He moves himself around. But he moves himself around in such a way that he's involved with the Atzma. It's a penalty desire. So we can see all these sort of unbelievable contrasting nuances. Of course, that's exactly what we just learned. Why is he that Eved Naaman? Because he's got all the help of the lights that are all shining in him. They're helping him along. It's not shayat that he would ever do otherwise. Obviously, here he doesn't have all that. Kibul Olav Oil Malchusi Yisbarach. He himself made the decision. V'nosan u'mosar esatzmi lavidosa Yisbarach. He gave over himself and he gave himself and he devoted himself to the Eivish's service. Lavidosa Yisbarach. That's a beautiful place. Do it. You're being led along, it's just a chaya, there would never be oil or das or so. I don't know who be or so. It doesn't matter. Mensch fliegt such a high inyanim. I saw this previous up to a couple of whisper to other people. So he's really Mumayla Lamata. Not chaya. Over here's a mention, he's mamishad to the chumiyas of him. He said, no, he's taking from him. Giving himself over with his decision, with his bechira, with his koyach. Amir said, the Rebbe, he's given himself over. Even anasina who were beetle cards musay. So that follows naturally. If you're really shy to something else, and you gave yourself over here, that means you've given yourself entirely. It's not really your Indian, and Abu you gave yourself to it, and that means you gave yourself to it absolutely. Mamela said the Rebbe, that follows that he's completely and utterly given. Nothing left. He's the Balabas over everything. Everything which is placed upon him, mutal, is thrown at him literally. Allah says, Ulakayim. That's it. Koyomah. Allah says, look. That's his own. It wasn't a pity, Adoin Koyom. In other words, as far as he's concerned, the average is the Paraposa work. Adoin Koyom. He doesn't know all the different Philippi Madraga. He might learn about it, but he doesn't really know about it. As far as he's concerned, the Abish is Adoin Koyom. The Abish is the Paraposa world. He's the ruler of the universe, how do you say? Adoin Koyom. However, that's there. V'tiva v'dosei harimu matzliach gam kein la'adoinoi laham shitois of his brocha b'chol hoin beis hoi. V'adarabah hu mam shitois v'zeh nara b'ein aroich lam shogas ha'ever ha'ne'ama. he said, come to us. Here we now move into a new field. And we say that a guy like this, and he's completely and utterly devoted mitzad his own bechira, and he's given himself without any afilu machshava, that any inyan should be shayach Eila. That means that when he does things for the Adon, then he does them in a Zahawifan, that it's only for the sake of the Adon. And it's completely and utterly right. Ha'adon b'rotzaynu, below klal. He can be mamshich, adaminat tzlocha, in the house of the Adon, also with Teisha V'Seh. But he said that will be ein higher, even in those hamshachas, which are so tremendous, that we describe, that a nimshachim alidei di'evet hanema. It's like an amazing thing. Ve'ikai hefresh u'tekol hamshachim b'teisha V'Seh neman mamshich akol hu b'bchinas hagiluim levod. It's all from the B'Shoresh Shoreshon, in the Shoresh of their Shoresh, Ubchinas Erein Seif Shabor, Ubchinas Hamshocha V'Gimel. That's the Erein Seif, which Balafach, he already went out, and it was Nimshak from the Atzmas into a form of Gilad. So Ein Lachanami is tremendously high in Yonim, but it's all things which in their Sod Shoresh, as we pointed out, even in the Sod Teisah. Even in the Sod Teisah, it's such things which have anyway been nimcha almanas to have a shaykhus upon him, to say that ishtal shows. So it's unbelievable. I mean, he's such a high man, and yet he only reaches what you might call not the ultimate McCoy, to use the expression. He only reaches what was already given for ishtal shows or ilamas, albeit a toisefet. But it's shy to that. Abo Masha Evada Posh, much near Papesh Atoinoi. Over that, what is simple, so he causes a tzlocha in the house of the Adon, meaning in the Eibishter's house, Shemam Shem Bepinas Atzmus Mami. He brings down Mamish Atzmus. Shal Yidei Zeh, or Shal Yodei, Nishlamo HaKavona Ho Amitis, that Isava HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yish Li'atzmusa Yizborah Dira B'Tak Tuinim. So he's ability to say, all that great Eved Nama, all that he achieves, he brings down tremendous revelations that haven't been seen in Seder Shalshos, but they're shy to Seder Shalshos. He doesn't really ultimately make a Dira B'Taka. He adds Atzilas, Mamayim Atzilas, maybe he adds all sorts of tremendous Gilui. And he makes it freilich in the whole Seder Shalshos. And for all the elements of the Yonim and all the what you might call the Malachim or the Yonim, it's a big yontif. He's a Veda. He said the ultimate purpose is Dira B'Tatuinim. Tapkin the lowest of all, and taught has to be the Atzmos. He said only somebody who is not himself whatsoever, and he doesn't know what the self is, and he doesn't even know what Elikus is. But he's in it for the sake of Elikus. He can do that. He can bring the Atzmos into it. And why? Because we're going to see that you're only that Eved pushes, like we said before, he's only like a screwdriver. The Eved should drape him in order to carry out what he really is involved in. I mean, it's like, so here's the old question. Eibishter wants to do it, but Tantainim, you can make him do it. About anything stopping the Eibishter. I mean, he can make a Tantainim, and he can put himself inside the Tantainim. Wasn't the problem? He wants it, the man should make the Tantainim. The man's all not. So he said the Eved Neman is not their man. He prepares a lot of good things, and he makes all the, what you might call the icing on the cake, and all the tremendous Yontif Tika Inyoni, which will be around the Tira. It's the fact that the Odin can go in and dwell in the Tira. That's this heaven portion. He makes it. Why? Because he's nothing. And the Eibishter draped him and said, it's very important. The Eibishter wanted a screwdriver. He wanted this. And it's, in a way, it's true and yet not true. Obviously, it's another contrast. It's true that the Eibishter moves him like a screwdriver, and yet on the other hand, in a way, it's not. Because ultimately, he's doing it because he chose to do it. In other words, that the Eibishter can't move him as a screwdriver unless he says, oh yes, I'll let you do it. So Kumtesa, once again, it's these unbelievable like contrasts. On the one hand, he's always been moved by the Eibishter. He's always been draped like a screwdriver. But if he hadn't allowed that to happen, it wouldn't happen. Remember, Yesh Leiman, that's why he's so important. Because he's prepared to do whatever the Odin wants, whatever the Odin will drain me, he's prepared to do it. But he said, I'm prepared that you drain me. And just like a screwdriver, it could have sat on the table and not been drained. It could have done, what you might almost call the opposite of a Diru Matate. Or also putting not Diru Matate. I could have just said, I'm going to put my feet up and puff a cigar. I wish you was the Matate, no sure. He said, that I wish to what's the Diru Matate, here's me, here I go. And he commits himself absolutely to that aim. So it drains him and becomes a Diru Matate. You see all these amazing, like, it's two nuances the whole time. And adapt to through that each portion. He says, I'm giving myself over to you, but I want to do it your way, only your way. You do it your way, but I'm giving myself to you. Here I go. He's the one who makes the other. This unbelievable answer. He's so full of all this Torah. He's devoted to it. I mean, that's heaven. He's an ever some man. Cholila, we're not talking about somebody who's yes. He doesn't fight. He's not the one who actually makes mamish capacity to do it. Yesh Leiman, that's why they have to be the Gillah for the Siddur. And what is the Siddur? A Rebbe with Siddur. And so what are Siddur? Siddur are exactly that. They're people, they just say to the Rebbe, we could have been not yours, but we're not doing that for sure. We've made a decision, we're yours. Yeah? Once we're yours, you drain the snow. We don't know what. Whatever you, it's your game. We'll do it. And that's in an emphasis on the person. There was somebody's Russian, some of those that they went through Russia. You could see on them this whole amazing picture. They didn't have anything for themselves. It was not shy even. And they just said, we're in it. This is what the Rebbe wanted. That's a deliberate decision. After that decision, after that kilo entering the contract, the Rebbe, he draped the screwdriver, just doing what the screwdriver would raise you. It's amazing. This whole thing, this whole heaven question of them. Later on, there's even a bit where there's also a Ben. A Ben also comes. Remember, it says that the heaven question better than a Ben. He's a Ben, he's pushing to the etzim. he's one essence with the Father. So he said, there's some people that's what God was. They feel one thing with the apes, they feel the essence different. They're tremendously also, all looking on them, but they got a good reason, they feel that they're some effort with the Tata. Avinu okay. Avinu. So this guy there, because he feels the Malkein of power. He doesn't feel these Bakusha there. He decided he's going to be. Which means that the bad power is not for God. Because he said he's really higher than everybody. He's higher than he's higher than the bad. I mean, he's also a pen, but he doesn't feel it. He doesn't really, it costs him. He says, no, nonetheless, here we go. We're given away to the Kabbana Armitius, which are the Atmos. Aber Hashem Poshe Matzliach, so hierna deel met haar tweeling, Liga is leer, Smusa is Barakira, over say, you can't no. Now we really move now into a new field. And I think what we'll do, even though everyone's leaving on Sundays, we'll be munching a little bit of leaving in the analysing situation and not having gone further. But this is like a whole new point now. I think it's probably a good pause there and just go from step to step. But now that everybody's going to be conducted, why is it that sometimes the Torah calls the mitzvahs Hashem, many occasions, mitzvahs Havai, and then occasionally the Eibush refers to the mitzvahs as mitzvahs Soy, my mitzvahs. Almost in Pasha Tzitzis, you got mitzvahs Hashem, sis myself and return, and then it says, Amam Tzishku, sis must call mitzvahs Soy. So we have a whole deal. This is mitzvah Hashem and then mitzvah Soy. He said that because the Eved Pasha says, Eibush, you mark everything. I've decided to put myself in, but from now on you're the macher, not me. Then the mitzvahs are no longer the Eibush's mitzvahs, and somebody's doing them, but they're the Eibush's mitzvahs all the way down. And when he does a mitzvah, he's just doing what the Eibush's mitzvah is, mamish and everyone. Even when he's doing it, it's called my mitzvah. The Eibush calls it his mitzvah. In other words, he doesn't really do his own mitzvahs anymore either. And he does them, but with the Eibush just drags through him once again. The Eibush just drags him. It's a whole piece now. That's the difference between mitzvahs Havai. The Eved Naaman, his mitzvahs are mitzvahs of the Eibush, the mitzvahs Havai, unbelievable meaning of its mitzvahs Havai. The Eved Pasha is mitzvah Soy, not even his mitzvah. He won't even be able to say out loud, I did a mitzvah, I did a mitzvah. No, I didn't. I just let it happen. I said, I want to be a mitzvah. They used to move me. And we made a mitzvah. Feeling good. It's just unbelievable.